What's up everybody, it's KB the Dragon. Today we're going to talk about a weapon that was with us at the start of D2. It helped us to survive on the day that the tower fell to the Red Legion. Let's talk about the Traveler's Chosen, but not the damaged one. Let's break down the exotic, full powered version. We're going to take a look at the gun's stats and perks to see just how powerful this gun truly is. Let's see if it's worthy of being called the Traveler's Chosen. But first, let's go over how to obtain the weapon. To obtain the Traveler's Chosen, you must complete the questline Exodus. That involves the evacuation and preparation quests. These quests are like a to-do list for the destinations that will be going into the Destiny content vault in November. You go around Titan, Io, Mercury, and Mars, completing the various activities around these destinations. You'll go through the strikes, escalation protocol, and even heroic adventures. If you never fully got a chance to play this content, it's a nice little tour around the destination. After completing the objectives, you even get rewarded with the strike-specific loot. So if you don't have the DFA, Duty Bound, Braytech Osprey, and even Mindbender's Ambition, you will get these during the quest. Now after you help prepare for the impending threat of the pyramids, you get the Traveler's Chosen from Zavala. Next, let's take a look at the perks and stats and see just how this gun stacks up. Let's start by looking at Traveler's Chosen's perks. First up we have the Quick Dot SAS, which increases handling, stability, and aim assist. We also have armor piercing rounds that increases the gun's range and over-penetrates targets, which means you can shoot through ads and potentially wipe out multiple targets at a time. This fits perfectly with the exotic perk, but we will get into that a little bit later. Next up we have short action stock that increases handling. And the last two perks, they go hand in hand. First up we have Gift for the Traveler. This perk boosts the gun's reload, handling, and target acquisition for every stack of Gathering Light. But how do you get those stacks? That's where the exotic perk Gathering Light comes in. Each final blow of this weapon will give you a stack of light. And if you hold the reload button, you consume those stacks and it gives you melee, grenade, and class ability energy based on how many stacks you have. Each kill in PvE will grant you 1 stack, and PvP will grant you 3. You can stack a max of 10 stacks, and each stack consumed gives roughly 10% energy. This perk insanely boosts your neutral game in any type of content, allowing you to constantly charge your abilities. And this is where armor piercing rounds comes into play. In any content, but especially PvE, groups of ads can be taken out even faster since you can shoot through enemies and hurt the ones behind your initial target, allowing you to build those stacks even faster. It's a nasty cycle that gets even better depending on your subclass and exotic armor choices. I would say that the only thing wrong is that the animation of absorbing the stacks doesn't sync up when you actually receive the energy. It takes some time getting used to, so it's a little weird to me. Now, let's get into the stats. We're going to compare Traveler's Chosen to the average of all the other weapons in its adaptive archetype. To get the average, we would choose a stat and add that number for every weapon in that category and divide it by the number of weapons in that archetype. So here's what we have so far. As you can see, Traveler's Chosen absolutely destroys adaptive sidearms in almost all categories. The only stat it loses in is recoil direction, and it barely loses in that. To top it off, the perk Gift for the Traveler boosts the reload, handling, and aim assist even further, making this weapon even better compared to its adaptive counterparts. And that includes its exotic brothers. All that sounds amazing on paper, but how does it perform in the field? Let's find out. In PvP, this gun is no slouch. Thanks to its adaptive frame, Traveler's Chosen boasts a highly respectable 0.6 optimal TTK, which requires 4 crits to obtain. As for body shot TTK, it sits in an average 1 second, requiring 6 body shots. With the Gift of the Traveler buff, this gun turns into a monster. The boost to reload, handling, and aim assist are just insane. The reload always makes sure that you are not out of fights for too long, which makes you potentially able to handle multiple targets a lot easier. The handling boost just makes the gun feel like air, so you can switch back and forth to what you need and not feel sluggish in the fight. And last but not least, the aim assist boost makes snagging the sweet 0.6 TTK a lot more consistent. On top of that, you can turn in those stacks to Gathering Light to give a nice chunk of energy to all your abilities, keeping them charged as often as possible. In PvE, this gun is an ad clearing machine. It can rip through trash ads no problem, constantly giving you multiple stacks of Gathering Light. Sadly, beyond trash ads is where this gun starts to fall short. It just doesn't cut it in higher end PvE content. Even with the gun constantly charging your abilities, it just doesn't seem worth the exotic pick, especially when you have heavy hitters to choose from like Izanagi's, Xenophage, or Divinity, just to name a few. Overall, I wouldn't bring this gun to anything like a raid or a Master Nightfall, especially Grandmaster Nightfalls. Luckily, one of Traveler's Chosen's greatest strengths is that it fits well into any build. This gun's strengths are honestly the strengths of whatever else you have equipped. That being said, I have a few recommendations for each class to get you started. I mainly focus on spamming as many abilities as possible. For the hunter, I suggest the Frosties, since it's another nice neutral game booster. Just for running, you get energy back. Pair that with the Traveler's Chosen giving you energy, and you will always be fully prepared for any fight. For Warlocks, I suggest the Controverse Hold. Even with the nerf to handheld Supernova, it's still a powerful tool to have. You pair this with the random grenade energy you get for hitting people from the Controverse Hold, and Traveler's Chosen giving you even more energy, you'll have way more Supernovas per game. Last but not least, the suggestion for the Titans. We have the Ashen Wake. Fusions instantly detonating on hit are already nuts by themselves, but pair that with a way to constantly refill your grenade, it's almost like the Controverse Holds, but even better. No charge time when you're trying to use them. And with that, let's wrap it up with some final thoughts. Traveler's Chosen is a very interesting weapon. It doesn't add anything to the party, it's not flashy like Devil's Ruin, or filled with crazy gimmicks like the Rat King, but what it does do is raise everything else around it. If you think of your build as a plate of food, this gun is just a flavor enhancer. It makes everything taste better. It's a staple for any ability-based builds in my opinion, and will serve you well in most content. In PvP and PvE, it elevates your builds to levels of consistency you could only dream of. I wouldn't bring it to raids or Grandmaster Nightfalls, but it's only because there are other weapons with higher levels of DPS that just plain out outshine this gun. Regardless, this gun will be in my Guardian's pocket at all times. I highly recommend that you take the time to complete the quest and get this monster while you can. Lastly, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and consider subscribing for more content like this in the future. But enough of me talking. If you have Traveler's Chosen, tell me how you like it so far. Got any builds you'd like to share? Let us know in the comments below. If you want to see some more clips of this gun in action, stay tuned for the rest of the video. See you next time. Peace.